Ever wondered how elite climbers solve problems that seem physically impossible? In the first World Cup of the year, we witnessed a fascinating pattern. Problems that stumped some competitors were somehow made to look effortless by a select few. What separated success from failure wasn't just strength, these top climbers saw something different. Sometimes things hidden in plain sight. Some solutions so counterintuitive they left everyone speechless. Let me take you inside the minds of climbing's greatest problem solvers. 3 climbers flashed M1, Sorato took 2 attempts and the rest couldn't do it at all? So what exactly makes M1 casual for some and straight up impossible for others? To establish, most climbers did a hop into the Underclick, where the tall climbers and Tomoa did a less risky static method, super high step and pinching the super high Underclick. After that, 2 moves up to these slopers, then a precise kick into a left pocket. From there it was chaos. Most got their left leg stepping high on this rightward hold, went under, grabbed the 10 zone Underclick style. Meichi and Dohyun matched the 10 zone. When they match the 10 zone, it becomes intensely difficult to maintain tension on their feet and sort of just campers to the left. Tomoa showed us an elegant solution. Left leg, go under to the zone Underclick style. With the left hand still on the pocket, walks his feet over to the left. Left hand comes in to where he was stepping, precise switch into a heel. This gives him a very narrow but sufficient opposition to adjust his right hand frontal style. Carefully cuts, using pressure on the wall to stabilize, before a precise campus dropping to the left. Beautiful. So Rato had a slightly different beta. He holds the zone not Underclick style but frontal, walks his feet straight into the heel, left hand comes in, and around left again with its heel still on, before unraveling into a campus. It's pretty amazing to watch this transformation, from scrunched in an uncomfortable position to suddenly becoming a super calm monster. For this move to the second last crimp on the arete, Sorato might actually be the least efficient. He steps low on the small foot below the 10 zone, which resulted in this significant but manageable swing. The Narasaki brothers both heel hooked the zone itself, with an aggressive back flag on the left leg. Smaller swing but more power required in a scrunched position. Dohyun got the best of both worlds, still stepped the lower more comfortable feet, but did a heel hook on the left hand, so comfy. Which would you have chosen? Think slabs are just about balance? Think again. Let's watch Sled Master's Tomoa's approach to this deceptively complex slab. We start with a toe catch. To release the toe, he goes for the slopey small dish, establishing opposition that frees the right hand, converting it to a push. Now this push opposes the left hand, freeing his left toe to match. With the right leg up, it opposes both hands quite nicely. He matches feet again and does a sketchy step on the right foot. Then reaches for the 10 zone. Okay, from this position, this hole is too shit to use. I'ma go back down. He changes his grip. Looks like he's crimping no tax, but mainly pushing with his thumb. Pushes his hips left, locks this position and reaches up to the zone. Now he can push with both thumbs, releasing his left foot to stand. Almost fully stood, he takes his right hand off and waves it right, shifting his center of gravity rightwards to almost completely on the right foot, allowing him to do this delicate bump from lower hold to the zone. But watch, a small overgeneration ruins everything. Next attempt, he shifts his weight even further right and stands with his right arm flagged out. Directly adjusts without his right hand, but oh no, another foot slip. For the top part, let's see how Sorato handled it. Sorato stands similarly to Tomoa, but finds the balance point instantly and stands on one leg and leans right to press. Don't be fooled, this position is way sketchier than he makes it look. The left foothold faces slightly left and is partially blocked, preventing him from pushing too hard without slipping. The next foothold faces right, directly opposing the push. He keeps his composure in this sketchy position and slides his left foot in, and does something no one did. He adjusts the placement, poking the heel out for better contact with the foothold. Now he stands confidently in a more stable place. But even here he doesn't rush, takes the time to adjust his left foot, pointing it leftwards for a better pushing right, before shooting for the top. Wow. You think you have seen dynamic climbing? Wait till you see this. It starts with a huge pedal that the climbers make look way too chill. Look at the elegance and float. And from here, they are given this super specific right foot, the kind setters use to force a face-out move. The blocker makes it awkward to use their other foot, as they want them to stay on their right foot throughout. But Paul and Mishti said, forget that, and unleashed a huge swing, whooshing with their lower body, landing both feet at once, casually latching the side pull, before reaching 3 meters up to the end jump. This was one crazy coordination boulder. I was so psyched to see how Tomoa would approach it. This spin move looks absolutely terrifying. You momentarily look away from where you're going, hitting yourself blind into a corner. On his first attempt, his right foot slipped. Second attempt, he spins and jumps in one motion with a trajectory so extreme his body is almost horizontal, and then he stops, breaking down the spin jump craziness into 2 parts. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to get it. Even with 22 seconds left, he was still giving it a go, and you can tell that he gave it absolutely everything. Sam does it in 2 parts too, and with a unique camera angle that reveals some cool details. First is generation position, with him leaning heavily on the left to get as much space as possible. Second, he doesn't just push off leftwards, he whips his upper body inwards to keep his body near the wall as he travels rightwards. Do-hyun seems to be casting some sort of spell before committing to the side pull. Any ideas on what he's doing? When I first saw M4, I didn't expect much. It looks like a broadly pushy, slow-paced boulder. How wrong I was. I was completely captivated by how 5 climbers approached it in entirely different, insane ways. We start with a campus requiring immediate momentum. The first hole is so flat that they had to move instantly to the next hold, and then swinging their feet far left into this huge feature. I'm gonna show you 5 approaches, each more ridiculous than the last. Sam worms his way up to this position, bumps his left leg to the no text part, and pushes off his right leg into a literal human flag, with his palm and feet both on no text. Soroto does a similar way, but he doesn't bump his left foot, staying on the textured part. Friction-wise, it's immediately obvious that the grey textured part is better, but in terms of loading direction, for the no text area, since it's rounded, it allows variable loading, where it can be loaded differently with 1 foot placement, while the textured grey part loads best from the right. Loading straight downwards is non-optimal and has a higher slip chance. With the right hand gustoning, having the option to load downwards on the left foot is valuable. It reduces the load you have to push on your left hand and pull on your right hand. Soroto commits fully to the lock flag, jumping straight into opposition with just his hands. Holy crap. He does a kip to adjust his right hand, somehow adjusts his left hand one-armed to make space for his left foot. Tomoa wiggles into a similar position and full-on dynos into a double underclick. Oh my gosh, thankfully he's okay.
Will he try this again?
He tries again, but his right hand misses the good spot. I almost skipped the hit with just 34 seconds left. Surely this wasn't enough time? Surely this crazy beta wouldn't work? And with 13 seconds left to go, this happened. Incredible commitment. He wasn't the only crazy one, Do-hyun jumped for it too, but grabs the hole with both hands on top instead. Which is sick because on top there really isn't much space for his hands. But someone went even further beyond on their flash attempt. It all started a long time ago in a galaxy far far away. Meshti was struggling to get his right foot up, even trying to pull his leg with his left up. It wasn't working, so he adjusts his right foot higher and pushes with both hands. Something clicked. Hold up, the next hole is right here. Let me give that a push. Wait a minute, this actually feels so stable. Now I can get my left leg up chill. Push this hole, push that hole. What do I push next? Maybe that hole all the way there? Okay, let's try that. Whoa.
I don't think he's got any idea what he's doing, but he's making it work.
He didn't have to spin back around, just do the whole boulder backwards. That works too.
The women's finals were brutal. 2 boulders had no tops, and the other 2, women's 3 was okay, and women's 1 was actually something ridiculous. Maybe they got the wrong memo and thought Nyanya was coming. Let's first take a look at the 2 boulders without tops, because there were actually brilliant attempts to top them. Women's 2 was the most flamboyant boulder of the competition. It started with a hop, mantling both hands on smooth surfaces. Handful match right, and big launch to a far Volcano Jug. As they fly out, momentum puts them in range of the next hole, and with good timing, they could reach it. But many opted to ignore that and do a safer match on the volcano. After traversing a little to the left, they showcased incredible creativity. Jaehyun took the most direct approach, crosses right hand, and then a direct release for the left hand. I wish there was better footage, but it looks super epic from afar. From here it looks like a campus coordination move, which is super cool. The intended seems to be a huge pull, then bam jump. Unfortunately, no one generated enough. Those flat slopers they're supposed to pull on did not help. It's not too fun watching no one do the move, but one climber stood out to me. On an earlier attempt, look how she maintains such posture while cutting loose, which actually might be exactly why she fell. While looking proper, she couldn't dissipate her leftwards and outwards momentum, her elbow angle increasing until holding became impossible. Compare this to Miho's attempt to kill momentum. She reached her zone with her toes still kept in, and from here she releases. As her legs swing out, she cranes her head in and pulls her body in. Notice how her elbow barely moves during the outswing, but as she swings back in, she doesn't handle the transition perfect and her elbow starts straying out. Even then, her determination was inspiring. She was falling for like 30 seconds before finally letting go. Melody made the release look absolutely casual. One small detail, she pre-places her left leg out before releasing, maybe simply because the more out your center of gravity is pre-swing, the less you swing. Some tried jumping with their feet still on. This saves them the brutal swing out and gives them their feet to help with the huge generation. But they will have to endure a larger swing on the next 2 holes. We don't have good footage, but Miho actually gets the most bite from the next hole with this method. Also, watch how quickly Orion tests options. toe the yellow, nope, toe the blue, okay, that's the one, let's go. And she handled the swing out incredibly. Her elbow barely swings out throughout the outswing and the inswing. We started off with Mao handling the swing poorly, but then Mao showed genius, going left hand, doing a small cut loose and campus match, before a small campus left. It looked strengthy, adding one match, but completely avoided the brutal swing on non-in-cut holds, trading one intense move for two more manageable ones. Not obviously better, but definitely worth trying. This is what problem solving looks like at the highest level. Women's 3 featured a coordination sled with a risky finish. Two climbers stood out for completely different reasons. The start is pretty chill, some no-hands traverse, crossing their feet through to the leftmost part of the foot, then establishing her left foot. From here she chose to do a one-legged hop. At first she didn't quite generate enough. She almost fell again but saved it by matching feet. The middle section was quite casual, and then there is the top, where she went dynamically from double mantling, but didn't quite hit the slopey edge quite right. Here's the crazy part, with 37 seconds left to go, she tries a completely new beta, which is insane to me with so little time left. Okay, she's going for another try. Surely she'll use her previous beta that worked. Nope, cross step again and actually does it. She either had the climbing smarts to think, I know I did it different, but I understand this problem and my body well enough to know that the cross step is better, or maybe she just simply forgot her previous beta. The last climber I'm covering, Mao Nakamura. You can see in my notes, Mao first attempt incredible. What made it so special? Let's see. Whoa, did you see her footwork? Surely it can't get better. The tiny window to match feet blindly on an aggressively slanted edge, she executes an intensely technical foot stop with unbelievable confidence and poise. To understand how hard this is, watch others attempt this beta. None came close to her first try execution. With a minute 30 left, she came agonizingly close, and with 35 seconds left, this happened. Oh my, by the skin of a 3-finger drag she did it, and Mao is a climber who does everything with a smile on her face, but you can see from the extra bright smile how this top meant that bit more to her. When technique meets determination, magic happens. Hey everyone, super pumped to show you the new and revamped design for our float-in shirts. We've been working on this redesign for a while and I'm honestly so happy with how it turned out. Softer premium fabric, a more flattering fit and expanded color options. Here's the deal, add 2 shirts to your cart and shipping is completely free. Perfect chance to grab one for yourself and surprise someone special in your life. Thank you all for your amazing support. I want you to know that these shirts are way more than just merch to me. I am personally committed to delivering something you will love wearing, which is why if you spot any print issues or visible quality concerns, we'll replace your shirt or provide a full refund. Your happiness with what you receive actually means a lot to me. Okay, back to the video. Women's 4 is a classic Yanya boulder, a brutal physical test straight from a board climb. We start with a crank to a blocked crimp and a swoop into an absurdly high underclick. This small swoop was done quite differently by Miho and Orion. What can you spot? Miho stays low throughout, places her weight right and stabilizes the move with a back flat. Even in the ending position, she is pretty low and is mostly relying on the right crimp. Orion and Melody kicks their left knee and hips in as she goes for the undercling. This looks crankier but allows them better engagement on the undercling. Here, Miho and Melody both did a super cool move, an inside flag knee kick. To bring their right hip up, they lifted and twisted their right hip in and times the up with reaching for the next black hold. Melody's execution was less exaggerated but had the same idea. Miho was first eliminated after getting the toe in and managing to match hands. She goes for the Gaston crimp, tries to cut but runs out of gas. Orion's beta, literally insane, but not in the way you're thinking. Similarly, she gets the toe in and matches, and Gaston's the crimp. Step right, match feet, high heel, left toe hook, match hands, right go up to the black, match toe, right go back down to the tail, right go back to the black, and finally matching the black. What a sequence from this monster. But Melody is the real monster. From the toe, she bicycled the starting block crimp and goes for the Gaston, matches the toe, hand heel match, and goes up to the black hold, before coming back down to the 10 zone and placing a heel. Now this heel is intense. You can see after she fell, she was hammering away at her calves and wiggling her toes. Probably a cramp, but she is not gonna let no cramp stop her. Now that her calves are warm, bam, sticks the crimp 3 drag. She adjusts the pinky and thumb in, left foot, mini shake her left, isolates, and grabs the part with the thumb catch. Small detail, even for this small hand adjustment, watch her right smear working hard to help with the movement. Can she do it? Unfortunately, this proved one hard move too many today. For women's one, none of the climbers could get the zone except for 2, and only one of them managed to top it. What kind of sick problem was this? We start with an uncomfortably high press. For some, the first move itself was the crux. Mao, the shortest competitor, really struggled, while many others could reach the side pool static. Mao couldn't and had to do a small low percentage hop. Notice her elbow angle, she needed to exert way more body strength to maintain the high press, whereas Oceania could easily jam her whole palm and simply reach with stability. Is this unfair? Not really. Later, they are forced into a smaller box, which favours a smaller frame. After the first hole, immediately came the second crux. With only a left-facing shallow volume, they had to ninja kick to another side pool and volume. Let's compare some kicks and try to spot the small differences. First, we have Oceania versus Orion. Initially, Oceania's left leg starts straighter and higher, pushing her body further away. Her position is more forward-leaning versus Orion's neutral stance. Oceania's hands are slightly higher too. When they pull, timing-wise, Oceania pulls slightly later. When they land, Oceania lands lower on the volume and more outside, while Orion lands higher and more inside. Both their hands slipped a bit. Orion's lower hand position could have helped keep her left shoulder close and tight. Then we have Erin and Orion. Both grabs around the same height, but Orion's pull was more explosive. Erin gets more height, while Orion's shoulders never rose past her left hand. Both land high and inside the volume. Alternatively, they could get their right foot high up to the right face and crank for the next hole statically, before a small dynamic foot plant. This requires much more strength but also carries less risk. Then came the third crux, zone incredibly far, confusingly high volume, aggressively angled feet. All of them were stumped. They tried everything, pushing up, dynamically jumping and flipping the left hand. Jaehyun even tried crimping the screw hole. Oh my god, she almost made it work. All of them were stumped except 2. They managed to endure the aggressive hand come-in move and stance into the volume, freeing the right hand. From here, they matched. Swung their feet up onto a small jib on this volume and locked for the cream side pull. And here one last crux awaited them. Annie reaches up without fully extending her left arm, keeping it bent to position better for going for the pinch. She grabs the pinch perfect and begins swinging out. As she swings, she pivots the toe accordingly and points it to keep it on as long as possible, until finally her feet popped off. It seems she did everything right. While there's no way to tell what's the exact best way from just watching footage, what if I told you Nonaka did everything the same? Bent left elbow, rises up, gets the pinch perfect, points and pivots the toe as she swings, and when her leg pops, she did just one more small little thing. She didn't let go. Sometimes, even if you execute everything sufficiently, the difference could come down to just refusing to let go. That half a second of rejecting letting go gave her a foot replant. She swings back in to step the left volume and matches.